Hello, this is Captain Dell, and next to me is Lazinowitz, and
Laszlo Moskowitz.
That's the one. Anyways, I saw an article on the internet that said that Chuck Berry is the father of rock and roll, and that Elvis was stealing the credit, and that it's okay if Elvis wants to take the credit for inventing rock and roll instead of Chuck Berry. And I wanted to make a comment about what do you think about that?
Well, I think Al Gore actually, he invented the internet, so I think he also started rock and roll. That's my opinion. But what do I know?
Al Gore?
Yeah.
He's a politician.
Right. I think he grew up with Chuck Berry, didn't he?
I don't think so, because Al Gore is, I'm not sure. I think he's a little racist, and I don't think he would hang out with Chuck Berry. That's just my thought.
Could be, but I do like Chuck Berry though. He would be. He's also has to be considered one of the founding guys of rock and roll, wouldn't he?
Yes, and nobody has taken that away from Chuck Berry. Nobody. In fact, Chuck Berry is known as the father of rock and roll, and Elvis is known as the king of rock and roll. Big difference. Nobody is disputing that Chuck Berry is the father of rock and roll, and nobody, I guess, disputes that Elvis is the king. Would you agree with me?
I do, but you know what? How about we put him in a match? Put him in a mat and have him fight it out, and we can decide who's the best, right? Last man standing. That's my suggestion.
Well, Chuck Berry cannot duck walk anymore.
Oh, no, really?
And Elvis is not alive anymore.
Oh, what is this world coming to?
So it's anyways.
I like both of them. I like Chuck Berry and his guitar playing, very influential. And Elvis had a magnificent voice and a great career, and he still has gobs of fans.
Absolutely. So, but there's no dispute then on your behalf that Elvis is the king and Chuck Berry is the father, and Little Richard is the architect. You know what? If you narrow it down, Elvis is the king, Little Richard is the queen.
Okay, Little Richard is the queen. Well, I was thinking more of the baby. If Elvis and Chuck Berry got married, they'd have Little Richard.
Little Richard.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
But no, I agree, both of them. It's just semantics. They're both, played huge roles in it. So I don't know how you can pick one over the other, really.
So, okay, that's our conversation. Would you like to add anything to it?
Well, there are other people that should be mentioned also.
Go ahead.
How about Bill Haley?
Bill Haley?
In the comments.
Now, can you mention a comment, one of Bill Haley's comments? Mention one comment.
Nope, can't.
So then the comments are trash. They don't even count.
Yeah, they're probably just musicians, studio musicians.
All right. Can you name one of the Crickets from Buddy Holly?
Crickets? No, I can't.
I can't either.
There are three of them, right? No, there are two of them, right?
See? There you go.
But that's another guy that's very influential, right?
Yes. B.B. King and the Ladybugs. Can you mention one of the Ladybugs?
I didn't even know he had ladybugs. Did he have lice too, or what? I don't know. No, but how about Muddy Waters? Another
Muddy Waters,
great bluesman.
Extremely Muddy Waters, B.B. King, Big Mama Thornton. See, all this started off in the South, in back in Louisiana, back in back in the South, and Bo Diddley said there's no difference between rock and roll and rhythm and blues. He says the only difference is rock and roll is when the white man sings it, and rhythm and blues is when the black man sings it, and calling it different names is just a way to segregate the whites from the blacks, especially back then. But that there's no difference between rock and roll and rhythm and blues. If Elvis was black, they would have called him the king of rhythm and blues.
That's true. And you mentioned Bo Diddley, another great.
Bo Diddley
came up with that. What did he have that?
That rectangular guitar.
And that rhythm that he had, wasn't he known for the
Dun 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 dun, the bum bum dum bum 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 dum dum dum. Yeah, that stuff.
Another great guy.
Another one. Who else can it? Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, but that was he can't
way
be
back.
considered a founding guy. I mean, he based a lot of his music on
But
these guys.
can you say Jimi Hendrix is the founding guy of electric guitar? Didn't he influence a lot of people to just like the Ventures?
I guess he did. Yeah, he was a great lead player, psychedelic influence, and like Chuck Berry in his early guitar work. Yeah, he was also influential in too bad he died so young.
How young is too young to die?
27. Remember the 27 Club?
27
He was part
Club.
of that 27 Club.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because the Europeans have their great artists, and the Americans have our great artists, and there's always been a brotherhood among us. There's never been competition between the British and the Americans. We've all been there for each other. However, I believe that if we didn't have Elvis, the British might say, "Ha, we have Beatles, and you guys have nobody to match them." But at least we had Elvis. The British had the Beatles. We had Janis Joplin, maybe the
Beach Boys.
there you go, the Beach.
Another very influential group.
The Beach Boys, yes. We had the Doors. I mean, we have Kiss. We have Cheap Trick. We have.
What about that
the
guy
Eagles.
that sang "Tiptoe Through the Tulips"? That
Oh,
famous, what's his name?
we have. That's right, Tim Conway. Tiny Tim.
I
That's
love
right.
Tiny Tim.
Oh, tiptoe through the window, through the door.
Hi, Tiny. Just want to say hi wherever you are. We
Yes.
remember you.
Our respects to you, Tiny.
Yes.
We love you, Tiny.
But he really wasn't a great
But you know what?
seminal figure in rock and roll.
One of his wives. This is what I heard. I didn't hear it from the horse's mouth. Not to insult Tiny Tim's wife.
Miss Vicky.
Was that here, Vicky?
Miss Vicky.
But I don't know. This is a rumor or something. Miss Vicky said that Tiny Tim was not really tiny. You know, that's
I thought this was a GP rated program. Okay.
Oh, it is.
Anyway, okay.
All right.
Moving on.
On that note, so we're mentioning all these great artists. If you know any other great artists that you would like to have been mentioned, please comment below and tell us your thoughts about rock and roll. Tell us your influential artist. And yeah, come on. Every era is great. The 50s were great. The 60s were great. The 70s kind of sucked though.
Yeah. 80s had punk.
80s had
Right.
punk. They had the great, and then the 90s, the 2000s, 2010,
That's because we're so young. We don't remember
maybe
these.
because it's our a different generation. You're
Definitely,
right.
yeah.
So, want to make a conclusion to this conversation?
Well, you mentioned all these figures that I agree with you. They were all very influential in creating rock and roll and its development throughout the decades. And the idea of who's, the father or the king or whatever. I don't know. Who did you mention?
Well,
Elvis, definitely.
Who's greater?
Chuck Berry. Both of those guys are. I don't know if they're greater. They're both great.
All right. Who's greater, the Beatles or Elvis?
I don't know. That's a tough one. Elvis was very influential.
So was the
rock
Beatles.
and roll. The Beatles a little later, but they were a huge success.
But you know what's funny? Elvis was, I think he was a big fan of the Beatles.
Was he? And vice
And
versa?
the Beatles were a huge fan of Elvis. So I think the European bands love us American bands, and the American bands here just love the European bands. I mean, everybody here talks about Ozzy Osbourne. They talk about the Beatles. They talk about help me here.
The Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones.
Canada,
Thank
Rolling
you.
Stones, one of
God,
my personal favorites.
huge. The Rolling Stones. Absolutely.
The Electric Shoe, another big band. Isn't there one?
The Electric Prunes.
Oh,
The Electric Prunes. Yeah, that was back in the 60s.
okay.
And so anyways, give us your thoughts. I'm here with
Laszlo Moskowitz.
and I'm Captain Dell. And thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching. And don't forget, your comments below are appreciated. Thank you.
Oh, and don't forget, best comments get some money. We will be sending some money to you if the comments are coming and if they add to the whole conversation we're having, okay?
How much?
He's rich. How much would you like?
We'll send them a gift card for $10. Really?
Okay, sounds good.
To one person? The
No,
best
let's
one?
have several. Let's have several. I mean, if we find, depends how many people give us some excellent viewpoints, and the sky's the limit.
Wow.
This guy's loaded, and he has money too.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, toodles. Toodles. All right.